Down the ages, life in India has been summed up in these 4 short and sweet words. They are perhaps the oldest expression of man's purpose in life. What is he here for? Why does he labor and toil? Who is his family? And where does he go after death? Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Sabhi gaiye Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, 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 Shri Ram Jai. There is no difference between Shankar Bhagwan and Hanuman ji. To understand this complex matrix of life and the afterlife, we are here in the middle of a fair that is known as the Kumbh Mela. The Kumbh is an occasion that happens but a few times in a person's lifetime. Though ordinarily the Kumbh takes place once every 12 years. But this one's more special because it is the Kumbh that happens once in 144 years. And thus it's called the Mahakumbh. On a purely physical level, the Mahakumbh is a fair of gigantic proportions. It's almost as if an entire city has materialized here at the confluence of India's 2 holiest rivers, the Ganga and the Yamuna. Just to give you an idea of the scale, if one was to add up the length of all the roads that pass through this tented city, it would come to a whopping 156 kilometers, which is roughly the distance between Delhi and Agra on the expressway. And if that's not enough, consider this. The total length of the water pipes in the city is 550 kilometers, and that of the electricity cables a staggering 770 kilometers. What's more, the 2 sides of the Mahakumbh venue are connected by 18 pontoon bridges. And yet, this massive makeshift city falls short of satisfying the needs of the 100 million or more people that pass through it in the nearly 3 months of its existence. This is the largest collection of humanity to come together at one place for one purpose. Located along the length of the river in the Sangam region of Prayag, this city has its own police, its own post office and health apparatus. But the Kumbh Mela is not about creature comforts. In fact, it's just the opposite of all that an obsessively material culture seeks to promote. India has had a long tradition of sadhus and sannyasis, or those who give up all their material attachments, including their families and their loved ones. Today, this class of holy men and women are trying to come to grips with the technology and connectivity of modern life.
अपना तो ये मानना है कि ये वर्तमान समय के साधन है। सेल फोन भी देखो, किसी से बात करनी हो, कोई जैसे आपके जैसे ही मान लो कोई भगत है, संपर्क करना चाहते हैं या कोई आश्रम है उसके संचालन करते, तो वहाँ से कुछ खबर आनी है तो फोन पे सेल फोन पे घंटी मार के बता दी गुरुजी ऐसा करना।
According to the Vedas, the life of an individual can be divided into 4 ashramas or phases, beginning with the brahmacharya or the time of celibate training. Brahmacharya ashram is followed by grihastha ashram or the time of raising a family. After all the family duties have been taken care of, a person goes into the vanaprastha ashram or the time of silent contemplation in the woods. The last of the ashramas is sannyas, which means cutting off of all earthly attachments. However, in a sadhu's life, the last of the ashramas takes precedence over all the others. And thus, he abandons the familiar for the unknown, taking on a search of that elusive moksha or a liberation from the cycles of birth and rebirth. The Kumbh holds a special significance for the sadhus, as it is a time of renewing their pledge of renunciation, and also of finding out how much they are needed to remind people about the essence of the Sanatan Dharma, which in Sanskrit means the eternal way of life. One of the highlights of the Mahakumbh experience is the many snans that take place on astrologically determined dates. The Mauni Amavasya is one such snan. It's a very auspicious snan that sees thousands and thousands of sadhus, especially the Naga sadhus, emerge from all over the country to take a holy dip in the Sangam. We are outside the Juna Akhada and we are going to go inside and find out what makes the Mauni Amavasya snan such an important part of the Kumbh experience.
जिस समय वो 3 सूर्य है, चंद्रमा है और बृहस्पति है, तीनों ग्रह इकट्ठा हो जाते हैं, उस राशि में हम स्नान करने के लिए वहाँ पहुँचते हैं। उसी नक्षत्र को पकड़ने का सारे भारत में झगड़ा है, कौन पहला स्नान करेगा। क्योंकि मैनाक जो है, मैनाक उस समय वहाँ आता है जहाँ गंगा अथाह भरी है। वो स्नान के समय उतने नक्षत्र के समय वहाँ जो है एकदम हल्का हो जाएगा, ऊपर उठ जाएगी ज़मीन, और स्नान के नक्षत्र के बाद जो है पूरा हो जाएगा। ऐसा नागाओं का खेल है। तो नागा कितने हैं, इनकी कोई गिनती नहीं है, अनंत ही कह सकते हैं हम।
The most feared of the sadhus, the Nagas, can swing between 2 extremes. Fierce, warrior-like posturing one moment and bubbling with an otherworldly wisdom the next. And in that they are said to be following in the footsteps of their eternal Guru and Master Mahadev, the great Lord Shiva himself. Nowhere is the Naga's extreme paradoxical nature visible more than on the days of the big snans. Like it is today, the biggest and the most important snan of the Mauni Amavasya, or the bath of the silent, moonless night. An estimated 30 million people took part in this biggest of dips, because it's supposed to wash away not just your sins, but those of many generations to come. And for the celibate sadhus, it means that they will not be returning to earth once they leave their physical bodies. The river may have an unmatchable boon of washing away the sins of mankind, but there also looms a very real threat of pollutants that have affected the quality of its water. Abhay Mishra, a filmmaker who has been working on the issue of cleaning the river, explained to me why a big event like the Mahakumbh could have been better managed river-wise.
देखिए, जहाँ तक एक कुंभ मेले की बात है, आज मौनी अमावस्या है, ये जो अथाह आप आस्था देख रहे हैं पूरी, ये जो सागर है आस्था का ना, ये सागर नदियों में समा रहा है एक तरह से। ये आस्था को इससे कोई बहुत ज़्यादा फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है कि ये जिस जल में वे डुबकी लगा रहे हैं वो वास्तव में गंगा है या नहीं। उनको वो जिसकी तलाश में इतनी दूर से चलकर आए हैं वो मिल पा रहा है या नहीं। तो ये वास्तव में जो चीज़ बदल गई है वो ये बदल गई है कि हम भीड़ तो हर कुंभ में बढ़ा ले रहे हैं, लेकिन अब हम अपनी ही गंगा को क्रिएट कर रहे हैं। यहाँ अपनी अपनी गंगा वाला एक बात निकल के आ गई है कि आज मुझे परसों स्नान करना है, तो आज आप जो है सीवेज डालना कानपुर से बंद कर दीजिए या नरोरा से आप मेरे लिए पानी छोड़ दीजिए। 3 दिन बाद पानी यहाँ पहुँचेगा तब मैं इसमें डुबकी लगाऊंगा। मेरे डुबकी लगा लेने के बाद आप फिर दोबारा से कचरा छोड़ दीजिए। तो ये जो गंगा को लेकर ये जो सोच बनी है सरकार की और संत समाज की, ये बहुत घातक है। तो ये भविष्य बता रही है कि कितना भयावह भविष्य है गंगा को लेकर।
Like the two rivers meeting at the Sangam here, there is also a question of two of Hinduism's broadest divisions coming together during the Mahakumbh. Historically, Shaivites and Vaishnavites have been known to be at loggerheads with each other. It is said that many mini battles have been fought between them over the right to take the first dip on important snans. But today, the administration ensures that such things don't happen. Sant Das Ji, the head of a Vaishnava Akhada, believes such a sharp division is now a thing of the past.
अंतर कुछ भी नहीं है और बहुत बड़ा अंतर है, खाली उपासना पद्धति का अंतर है। जो हमारी उपासना पद्धति है और उनकी उपासना, और बाकी कोई अंतर नहीं है। साधु वो भी हैं और साधु हम भी हैं, फर्क कुछ नहीं है। बस वस्त्र का भेद है, तिलक का भेद है, नाम का भेद है और घर ज्ञान का भेद है, बाकी और कोई भेद नहीं है। वो भी साधु हैं, हम भी साधु हैं।
In its vast stream of faith and belief, Hinduism contains some of the world's most astounding contradictions. These singers are wandering sadhus who are also householders. And so they sing mostly of Shiva's marriage to Parvati. Mainly from the villages of Haryana, these Jangam singers believe that they have descended from the great lords Thai or Jang. A small but significant minority at the Kumbh Mela is that of the foreigners, who are drawn by the Hindu faith's philosophical gems such as the idea of the world as one family. Pilot Baba, who once used to be an airline pilot, today has many followers from Russia and Japan. His ashram has in fact the sole distinction of having a Japanese woman as a leading sadhu. Many outside this exclusive-looking tent for Pilot Baba's Japanese followers told me how miffed they were about an essentially Indian thing being shared so freely with the foreigners. But that again is the beauty of the Sanatan Dharma, that it is for all to keep and practice. As much as the Kumbh is an experience for Indians who come here in search of moksha, a large number of foreigners also come here to get a feel of what Indian spirituality is all about. I have with me Alisa, who's come here all the way from Russia. Alisa, you are a disciple of Pilot Baba, who's also a very famous Baba in Kumbh. Every Kumbh Mela he comes here, he sets up his big tent. He has many disciples in Russia. When was the first time you heard about Pilot Baba, and how did you get interested in his teachings?
First time I have heard about Pilot Baba today, maybe 4 years ago, from my friends, but they are disciples. It's Swami Vishnu Devananda Guruji, yes. But I feel more from Pilot Baba today.
While the Mela attracts millions of believers and a fair share of skeptics, it is also a place where a lesser-known tributary of Hinduism finds expression. Tantra is also known as the left-handed path, as many of its practices seem contrary to a more socially accepted form of the Sanatan Dharma. You are one of the most different-looking sadhus in this entire Mahakumbh. How would you define yourself? How would you describe yourself?
Tantra is not Jadoo Tona. It's not magic trick. It's one of the way to achieve liberation, to achieve Mahanirvana. For that, in Bhagavad Gita, God has said, I can be worshipped in 3 ways. One is Vedic or Westward's way. Second is Tantric way from where we are. And third is Vedic Tantric mixed. So this is simply to have liberation, to have peace of mind.
A lot of people think it's a Jadoo Tona and a lot of sexual kriyas that one, as a tantric, one has to do.
Especially, it's a misinterpretation, misconception that Tantra means only sex. May I ask the people, is there anybody on this earth who is without sex? And if there is no sex, how there can be any universe? So sex is not to be treated hideously, it is to be taken in a positive way, in a positive frame of mind, so that this universe and origin of the universe can move smoothly. So sex is not bad thing. It is to be used at a proper time, at a proper place.
But for the ordinary pilgrim, there can be no other place like the Mahakumbh, especially when they're coming from thousands of miles south of the country.
We are very proud to be coming from the land of Shankara, who is some way related to all of these and established everything, the Agadas and all.
Right.
And that
But
is,
if you say that, tell that to an ordinary person, would he?
they won't understand. They won't understand.
Why is that?
That's because the
The
practice.
systems was more familiar than the
Person
personality, I guess.
who established where actually the people doesn't matter. It's the ideas which matter.
So the idea stayed behind, but the founder who started this whole system is sort of forgotten in a way.
Maybe
But-
forgotten. That we don't know. But why Aam Aadmi, the normal people, they come. They will have a sense of achievement, being part of something of this much big and all. A spiritual journey for many of them. And I don't think the most of them are here for Babas or like
They're just for their own spiritual
journey.
But it's great seeing Naga sadhus and meeting them. They're rituals.
When you met them, did you talk to them?
Yeah.
What did they say? What did you ask them?
They have, they were have their cup of tea. And they were like, where are you from? And then we said we are from Kerala. So they said that they have some guys from Kerala, but we couldn't meet them.
The Naga sadhus, in fact, know about the Shankaracharya system. Because I've also spoken to them and they told me about.
Yeah, Babas knows, but the normal
people. They know the history, but it's not for the common man.
So when you go back to Kerala, what are you going to share with people back there?
The experience is so vast and you're so spectacular that we can't explain it in the words. But still, the spirit remains with us, and possibly we can show the.
I will suggest my friends to attend some Kumbh, even if Ardh Kumbh, Maha Kumbh, normal Kumbh, do not in Allahabad.
So what is the purpose of the Kumbh? What do you think is the purpose of the Kumbh?
It is getting together of people and having for everyone it should be different. For me, it is a journey to the heart of India, the Hindu India and all, what normal people experience.
It may be different things to different people, but the central idea of an event like the Mahakumbh is to reflect and contemplate on the momentariness of life.
आध्यात्मिक स्वरूप के अलावा इसका जो एक सामाजिक स्वरूप देखने को मिलता है मेले में, वो भारत की आत्मा का एक सहज स्वरूप है और यही असली संस्कृति है भारत की, जिसका रूप ये छोटा सा रूप देखने को मिल जाता है। इसे आकलन किया जा सकता है। अब यहाँ आप 100 में से 95 आदमी आपको सवाल का जवाब यही देंगे, काहे आए हो? तो नहाने आए हैं। केवल एक कॉमन उद्देश्य सबका, जितनी भीड़ थी, केवल नहाना माने नहाने के पीछे जो रहस्य है, जो कामना है, जो इच्छा है, जो विश्वास है, लेकिन नहाना मात्र। नहा लिए तो मानो सब कुछ जग जीत लिए।
Perhaps the best way to look at this, the world's biggest and longest fair, is through the eyes of a poet, who, unlike the number crunchers, looks at the smallest of individuals, whose lives get sucked into the walk of life that is the Kumbh.
आपने कितनी बार नहाया होगा, लेकिन यह अद्भुत मेला महाकुंभ का लग गया है और आप इसको अच्छी तरह देख रहे हैं। हमने भी अपनी नज़रों से कैसा देखा है और ये कैसा मेला होता है इसका वर्णन आप देखें। चले नो नहाए अमावस का मेला, चले नो नहाए अमावस का मेला। चुन्नू कमाई चबैना भुजाइन, गठरी में से तुआ सोनहावन बनाइन। आलू शकरकंद भर के चंगेली, लाइस पतोहिया गुरुआ का भेली। कोहड़ौरी मरचा अचारे के पुटकी, पूजा का बासन घंटी और लुटकी। उही में ठाकुर जी, उही में चप्पल, उही में ठाकुर जी, उही में चप्पल, उही में लुगा सलूका और रफल। बूढ़े पे गठरी कमरी कन्हेला, चले नो नहाए अमावस का मेला, चले नो नहाए अमावस का मेला। मेला का हाल जिन पूछा हो भैया, अब मेला में पहुंच गए तो यहाँ का दृश्य देखें। मेला का हाल जिन पूछा हो भैया, दुनिया कमरई दैया रे दैया। फूल प्रसाद रोरी रक्षा चुनरी, लगी रहे लाट रामदाना का चकरी। भोंपा पर भजन बजत कीर्तन रामायण, कथा रास लीला प्रवचन परायण। कतौ यज्ञ होत कतौ भोग भंडारा, पंडा की चौकिन का फैला पसारा। पलरी तराजू दुई तुमड़ी का झंडा, झंडा हजारन तो हजारन है पंडा। कपड़ा भंडार बिकै साल दुसाला, टोपी कंटोप कोट तुलसी का माला। पोथी पंचांग कतौ पूड़ी कचौड़ी, लाची दाना रामदाना पेठा पकौड़ी। बिकै अमरूद बैर और सेब केला, चले नो नहाए अमावस का मेला, चले नो नहाए अमावस का मेला।
They say the Kumbh is a microcosm of the spiritual India. And to know this India, you have to come here at least once in your lifetime. During the making of this, our episode, we came across many known and many not so known aspects of India's spiritual traditions. So, until the next time, we are ready to take you on another journey through the fairs of India. This is me, Dheeraj Singh, saying thanks for watching and namaskar.